Hello everyone and welcome back to another Draft a Day video. My name is Jeff Hoagland and we are drafting 665 once again here. Up in this first pack we have the rare, which is Something Borrowed. I don't think this card's particularly great. If you open this in like pack 2 or get past it once you're like already on Sapphire Blood, it's like a reasonable pickup, but I don't think this card is a reason to move into Sapphire Blood. Cards that are first pickable in this pack that jump out at me are, there's two of them. The first is Butcher. It's just really quality removal in blood, destroy target exhausted troop, fixes a lot of problems. There's also a Determined Bushy though. It's a 2/2 with Crush for 2 that Diligence does get +1/+1 permanently. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up Bushy. I've always been really impressed with this card every time I draft it. It slots really well into the Diamond Wild deck. It also slots really well into Wild Sapphire aggro, just like really kind of a centerpiece in any good Wild aggressive deck in the format. In this pack, we got past an Earth Mother, which is 0/3 for 1 with Diligence. That gains 0/1. So basically, if you play this on 1, you attack with it on 2, it Diligences on 3, and then you have an extra resource on 4. So in Constructed, it's really, or in Limited, sorry, it's really kind of slow, and you're not going to have it super consistently. So I don't think this card's really worth playing. There's a reason it got passed. I really like Battle Preparations. It's a 2-cost, quick action, Conscript, and Ardent Troop with cost 1. That card gets +2/+2, so helps you fill out your curve nicely. It's also a good start to the Conscripts Matters deck, and like we got a Determined Bushy as well. And the nice thing about cards like Battle Preparations is that like you're happy to play this kind of card in Limited even when you're Conscript, you don't get payoff cards for the Conscripts Matters deck, which is one of the reasons why I really like the Conscripts deck in this format, because when you don't end up getting the payoffs that you're looking for, you still end up with a reasonable deck that you can end up playing. As far as this pack is concerned, we did get kind of a bomb conscriptor here. Cottontail Wartaller 4/3. Deploy conscript 2 underworld troops. Yeah, I think that's probably worth picking up here. I think that's worth moving into blood. It's a little bit unfortunate that we passed a Butcher earlier, but we got a Determined Bushy that we're still going to play as well. If we wanted to stay just in Wild, we could grab this other Battle Preparations just to kind of leave ourselves open a little bit, but Cottontail Warcaller is such a bomb in this format. It's just like a 4/3 that basically draws 2 troops, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up for sure. In this pack, we have Call of the Deepwood as probably the best uncommon for the shards that we picked up so far. Sanguine Boon and Furious Smasher aren't particularly playable blood cards. Crossing Swords is kind of reasonable removal in Wild, but I think I'd rather take the uncommon. This conscripts an Ardent or Underworld troop for cost 5 and puts it right into place. Basically gives you a 5 cost on turn 4, which is great. You wanna come sit with Dad while he drafts? Yeah, you and brother? You and brother getting into it? So a pretty good start here, and we have 3 conscript cards already here, so we would love to see some Drakas come around between this pack and the next one. In here, I'm not really a fan of tilling the soil. It's kind of slow and clunky. It's medium to draw in the late game, which is kind of its only saving grace, because it can cycle if you have some scrounge fodder. I think I'd like to pick up the Mosh Pit Gladiator, though, honestly. It's a 5/1 for 4 with a Minor Socket, which means you can put can't be blocked by troops with power less than it in here. The uncommons of this pack are actually pretty terrible. I've never played an Alarmomatic in my life in draft, and I don't think Thornweaver is particularly impressive. Manti Magi is like an okay way to gain some life against the aggressive decks, but usually you have better things to be doing with your scrounge fodder in this format. And Crowbones is evasive, but it's like really slow and clunky, and the ability to have socketed cards consistently in your crypt so it can generate value is kind of difficult. This pack doesn't have anything too exciting for us in it. There's Inkheart Infuser, which isn't playable. There's Feral Root Tactics, which is this card's like fine. Like, I'm never unhappy to have this in a deck that's got more of an aggressive slant to it, because it gives 4/4. If that Troops Valorous, it gets Crush. Determined Bushy has Crush built in, so you just, like, get to, like, kick your Determined Bushy up over the top, which is kind of nice. We don't really have any Scrounge cards yet, so I don't think the Wicca Web spawns the payoff that we're looking for, so I think I'm going to go ahead and snake the Feral Root tactics here. The Blood Wild counter deck's a little bit less aggressive than the Wild Diamond because you have top-end cards like Cottontail Warcaller, but I think it's still a fine archetype, and this card's fairly aggressive. It's like, it's an answer or die threat, basically. As far as this pack is concerned, there's nothing in here that's particularly good in either of the shards that we're playing. I don't think Spring Renewal is great. Put target non-action card from your crypt into your hand. I guess it's okay, but honestly I think this card's worse than Tomb Swap in the format, so I'm kind of confused why it's an uncommon, honestly. There's Till the Soil, which isn't great. We have Windborn Ascension here as well. I think I might just pick up the Ascension just in case we keep seeing good Sapphire cards come around, in case we want to pivot into Sapphire Wild as opposed to Wild Blood. Our Wild cards are pretty reasonable base here, but the Blood are kind of medium. They're powerful, but they're kind of slow and clunky. This pack, and again, just kind of like in the effort of keeping our things open, this Pyre Strike went all the way around the table, which means Ruby's probably open. There's also a Moon Call Ceremony in here still, but I haven't been seeing a ton of good diamonds coming around. Ruby often gets left open in this format, so I kind of want to pick up the Pyre Strike just because it's quality removal. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And just kind of keep our plans open. We're definitely in Wild at this point with these 4. We've got like 3 really reasonable Wild cards and a 4th playable one. But we're not 100% settled on like what our other shards going to be. We're kind of waiting for the signals to come around and see what kind of bombs are coming. This is a good signal that we should maybe be moving into Ruby for the second shard. And here's a Draka Outcast. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and pick that up. We're 10 out of 10. We're 10 out of 10 playing that. We've got two conscript cards, and then, you know, maybe a third, maybe a third. I'm gonna hide the Strike and the Ascension for now. Like, if we end up in Blood Wild, we already have 7 playable cards out of this pack, which is about par for the course. You want about 22 playables in this format, so you need like 7 to 8 out of each pack. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the Tomb Swap here. I mentioned earlier that I thought this was better than the Spring Renewal, and I really like this card in Blood Wild decks, just like as a one-of, because usually you have enough bombs that like you're willing to rebuy it. Like anytime you like Tomb Swap your Cottontail Warcaller back to your hand, you're just like on cloud 9.
No.
This pack, we have an on-shard coin, which I am just like hard-pressed not to take. Gravebane Val is the only other thing we're mildly interested in, and that's definitely much worse than an on-shard coin. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the Rose Kitten here. It's a 2/2 with Crush for 2. That gets +2 power for each of the Rose Kitten and Thorn Pump you control, so we're not gonna start this, but like if we end up getting past a couple of them in the next pack and we could try and grab some pups in the third, it's definitely playable. We got 8 playables here, plus a standard shard upgrade, so this pack is well on par for the course. Mentioned the Manti and the Crowbones, the Tillyxor that I wasn't impressed with, and they all were wheeled back around here. I'm going to grab the Manti because we might board that in an aggressive matchup. The other two were almost certainly not playing. Hi, really? You think so?
Uh-oh.
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 It's Jake's spring break week.
Uh-oh.
It's spring break. Party!
No.
Are you partying?
Uh-oh.
We got some more chaff here in the pack. Grab the Moonglow Hunter, because there's nothing else worth taking. We're just waiting for the next pack, D-Money. Yeah, I guess I'll grab Matilda Soil at this point. Almost certainly not playing it, though. Yeah, you're a good kid, Jake. Yep, and I have to turn in. This gets 2 until the start of your next turn. That card's gotta be unplayable, right? That's probably playable and sealed. Wow, Reversion came all the way around. People need to respect this card more. I think this card is very good if you're in Diamond. Super playable trick. This pack's really bad for us. Someone's going to be really happy with this pack because there's an Underworld Officer here. Unfortunately, if we were, like, in one of these 2 shards heavily, and, like, if we had as many blood cards as we do wild cards right now, I'd probably pick this up and pivot into Sapphire, especially since we picked up a Windborn Ascension earlier. I can't splash this card, right? Like, that's unreasonable. Like, this is a card that has a power level that you're just like, yeah, I might splash for this. I feel like we've got more of an aggressive slant at this point, though, so that's probably not worth it. I've got a Battle Preparations here and a Power and Pain. I think Battle Preparations has a little bit higher power level on average. It's definitely the more aggressive card. I guess Power and Pain is one of those cards that just, like, randomly infinite tricks people. So I don't hate taking either of those 2 cards in this pack. I kind of want to take the Battle Prep just because it's the only playable wild card, though. It's the only wild card, period. So, like, the Battle Prep's more likely to wheel back around to us. And then we get one of the better Conscript cards in this set, for Limited especially. Even in Constructed, this card's great. Eager Lackey, 1/1 for 1, Conscripted Underworld Troop with cost 4. Just, like, 10 out of 10 picking that up. Hopefully this pack is good to us, and we get a couple of Draka Outcasts here. Like, we've already got 1 here. Would love, like, 2 more Draka Outcasts in this pack now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Conscript cards, so would love another Outcast or 2. These packs that have mechanics that are only in set 6 are kind of tough to draft in 6/6/5 sometimes because you're kind of at the mercy of whether or not they come up. Even the commons can be tough to get with only 2 packs of them coming around. Alright, there's a Rose Kitten in here. This pack's not particularly good for us. I don't think Sanguine Boon is great. I think, actually, I'm just going to, like, priority pick this Rose Kitten, just in case we get a couple of them, because, you know, if we get a few of these, this card's very reasonable very quickly. I don't think Underworld Oppression is a great card. Voted troops use -1/-1 for each Underworld race among troops you control. We don't have a ton of Underworld troops in this deck, and I think this card's kind of mediocre even when you do, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the Rose Kitten here, just on the off chance we see more of them come around. I'll probably start picking Rose Kittens a little bit higher priority. In this pack, wow, there's a second Charkmark going around. We passed one of these earlier, and I didn't mention it because I don't think this card's like, I guess it's good the Charges Matters archetype. Someone's going to have a really sick Charges Matters deck in this draft, because I definitely passed 2 Charkmarks and a Rift Spazzo. There's a Rock Slider in this pack, too. Man, unfortunately, we're just like nowhere near that archetype with the pack 1. I don't think Apprentice Earthcaller is going to be any good in this deck. We don't have any Valor producers currently. Speaking of, though, I think the best card in this pack for us is this Galleon Sentinel. It's a 3/3 for 4 with Skyguard, deploy, make a Valor. I could see merit to this Dread Apprentice being okay, but like we don't have any Assault cards, and we don't have anything that really cares about the Crypt currently, so I think I'd rather grab the card that kind of hedges... skies, and then this way, if what's it called comes back around, the Valor draw card troop, the Earthcaller Apprentice, we can play it. There's a third Rose Kitten, so 10 out of 10 picking this up, and then maybe we promote these here. So like have a bunch of 2-power Crush guys. This actually, and having a bunch of Rose Kittens here actually makes yep, I'm glad we picked up that kitten with a high priority in the second or third pick there. I would like to get another Fail Root Tactics now, honestly, because we've got what, 5 2/2s with Crush that can just like get bigger, and like this card just like gives them +4/+4. That sounds insane. Probably a Grandfather Elk deck at this point. Yep, sweet. This deck's coming together really well. There's another Draka Outcast like we were looking for here, so we're gonna have a pretty reasonable aggressive curve here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conscriptors now. Hopefully that Power and Pain wheels back around in our first pack where we picked the Battle Preparation this pack. I don't think we missed any Rose Kittens, so we're done with those. Hopefully we get a Thorn Pup or 2 in the next pack. You think so? You see yourself on the recording screen? This pack doesn't have anything particularly exciting in it for us. We're not in Dreadling, so Web Spinner Prelate giving our Spiders Rage 1 is very good. Burly Botanist is kind of slow and clunky. We're more aggressive than this, and again, not in the Dreadling archetype. I can see Jurassic Spark being okay. Honestly, we've already got 15 playables in this pack. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this Skittering Cultivator. It's probably the best card in the pack. The Iotachi Cavalry is okay as well, but the Ruby's not very good in this set, so especially considering this Pyre Strike came around late. You showing Dad your tablet? Yeah, you're a good kid. Sliding off my lap. Hey, look, the Power and Pain that we wanted wheeled back around, so sweet. We've got 2 reasonable payoffs for our conscripts, so we've got like 6 playable conscript cards, so that sounds great. And like this Cottontail Warcaller conscripts twice, so it gives Draka Outcast +2/+2. And that sweet, another Fail Root Tactics came back around like we wanted to go with our Rose Kittens and our Determined Bushy. Wow, the Rift, so no one's in the Rift Spasm deck, and there was just like 2 Charkmarks in this pack. You know, honestly, this Sanguine Boon is probably higher pickable for us since we have all these Crush Troops and the Draka Outcast too, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. And we'll see, man. We're already at 18 playables here, so... And our curve is super low, so this is probably going to be one of the 17 shard decks that I play in this format, just because... the Monsagi coin is like an argument for playing 18, but like our curve is so low that it's probably reasonable to just snap it off at 17. Nothing particularly playable in this pack. I'm going to grab the Blood. I'm going to grab the Cavalry. It's the most playable card. We're not going to play it ourselves, but the Bloodletter would have gotten picked up already if someone was in that archetype. Nothing particularly exciting in here. Grab the Dingle because it's close to the playable. Burly Botanist and Dingle are both like medium playable. Burly Botanist is a powerful card, but it's kind of slow and clunky. Staunch Resolve and Botanist, again, both close to playable. I think Staunch Resolve is moderately more playable. Like, this card with the Flight Gem is, like, plenty reasonable in a lot of decks, especially if you have a more aggressive slant. Yeah, there was a really stream. Like, if this had been pack 1, I think we would have ended up... Probably 2 people would have ended up fighting over the Charges Batter deck because there were so many good pieces for it going around, but... Man... As far as this pack is concerned, yeah, I'm not really sure where we want to go with this pack. We have a Gruesome Deed here, which is just, like, okay removal, but we really don't have any, like, sacrifice fodder for it. The Smashed Magus might be okay. Is this a Double Trouble deck? Like, we talked about Feral Root Tactics being good. If Feral Root Tactics is good, Double Trouble just has to be insane, right? There's nothing else I'm super excited about in this pack. Moonrise Elder is, like, cute, but I don't think it's worth rare drafting. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the Double Trouble. That sounds fun. Like a good fun of. Unleash the Beast sounds great. We're kind of got an aggressive slant here. Summon a random troop with cost equal to how many times you've attacked, basically. So... yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. Wow. Ashwood Firebrand into Ashwood Firebrand. If we had ended up at Ruby, this pack would have been very good for us. A lot of times your Ruby decks in 665 really depend on how good your third pack is, because the best Ruby cards in this format are definitely in this set. Alright, so in this pack we have a Spring Dancer here, which is just a really great quality 2-drop aggressive threat. And we've got a ton of really good 2-drops. Hey! Do not unplug my computer. Thank you very much. Brat. Kids. Yeah, so 10 out of 10 taking the Spring Dancer here. Hopefully the Taste for Blood wheels back around. Like, really like that card in this format, so... in this deck especially, like, where we got an aggressive slant, like, this card allows us to race nicely. But definitely want this Spring Dancer. Rusted Rune's like a fine board card. Destroy target artifact or constant Underworld Allegiance, summon 2 Dreadling. There's nothing else in this pack that we're too particularly excited to take. I can see the Gift of the Manti being okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. We might play the Gift of the Manti in here. Just give target troop +2/+2 at spell shield this turn. Douche. Twilight Reverent. This pack doesn't have anything too particularly exciting in it for us. Root Wrangler's like okay. You can put the Intimidation Gem in it like Mosh Pit Gladiator. It has one less power, so it gets blocked a little bit more, but it also has one more toughness, so it dies to slightly less things, like doesn't die to Crackling Magma or Cheap Shot. Yeah, I think I'm willing to pick this up. This deck's a little bit... we don't have any removal in our deck currently, which is kind of troubling, but like we've got double Feral Root Tactics and Double Trouble and Manti and Sanguine Boon, so like... We got plenty of tricks. Hopefully we get a Thorn Pup or two. We're, what, 3 or 4 picks into this pack, and we haven't seen any yet, which is kind of troubling. Like, we're 10 out of 10 taking Thorn Pups, like, first picks here. They're speak of the Thorn Pups, and they will appear. So 2/2, other Thorn Pups and Rose Kittens, you control get 2/2 this turn, so grabbing that. So this gets +2 power for each Rose Kitten and Thorn Pup, so see if we can get really lucky and get one to two more Thorn Pups in this pack. Would love, 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 love 1 to 2 more Thorn Puppies. This pack doesn't have anything particularly exciting for it in us. Objectively, the most powerful card is probably this Warband Ruffian. I'm going to cut that because the Ruby's just been insane in this pack. So if I had to play against whoever had the Ruby card to this pack, I definitely want to cut them off of some power. I think I'm going to trim some of my top end here. So I think this Root Wrangler is coming out. I don't want to cut the Call of the Deepwood because that's a conscript payoff for my Draka Outcast at this point. Smash Magus is a very reasonable card. I don't think it's going to make the cut in here. I think we'd probably play the Root Wrangler before it. This is probably the most playable card in this pack. We haven't seen any Mama Yetis come around, so there's no point. Actually, I'm going to cut this baby just in case someone picked Mama Yeti. I was hoping to get this back. We have one more pack here, so we have one more chance at a Thorn Pup. And no, wait, that was the last chance to Thorn Pup. So we're not going to get any more pups. This is our first pack, but that's fine. 4 kittens and a pup is okay. And we already have like 23 playables here plus a coin. So like, honestly, our deck's basically done. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't pick up anything else that's particularly good. I'll grab this Misery. We're probably leaning more towards Wild than Blood. So I don't know if that's going to be particularly great, but it's fine. This is probably, no, this is almost certainly a Grandfather Elk deck. Like, being able to push through a Draka Outcast that's a little bit bigger, and like giving Rose Kittens and Thorn Pups an extra push sounds great. How many troops did I end up with here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, plenty. I'm going to grab the Monsage Sniper. It's just like a fine board card against the Diamond Sapphire decks with flying. Nothing super exciting in this pack. I guess I'll cut the Take Wing, so it's a playable trick. Again, kind of at the end here. So do we have any sockets in our deck? Nope. Oh, yeah, just this. We're going to put the Intimidation Gem in here, so that's 23 playables in this. And then the resources in this deck are actually going to be really good, right? Because we don't have any. We have one double wild here, so this is probably honestly just going to be split. Nah, we don't have a ton of blood in here. Yeah, the resources of this deck are probably going to be 10 wild, 7 blood, because we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blood cards, which I think these cards are worth playing. Like Tomb Swat, Sanguine Boon, Power and Pain, Mosh Pit Gladiator, Cottontail. They're all like powerful blood cards. And I don't think I have good enough wild. Like, I can play like the Sentinel and this and the Tilling Soil, but I think the power level of the deck overall is just higher. It's worth the splash for the blood. So I'm going to go ahead and play 9 wild shards and 7 blood, and then we'll round out the deck here. I'm going to go not make you sit through the last of the dredge packs here. As always, my name is Jeff Hoagland. This has been a Draft Today video. Remember, if you like the video, to like it on YouTube and share it on your social media. You could also support my content in a couple different ways, such as subscribing on Twitch for $4.99 a month or becoming a patron on Patreon. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. There's the Hex Primal logo here. They would love to sell you Hex TCG singles, and if you use the code Jeff5 when you're checking out at their website, you'll save not only 5% off of your order, but you'll also get you also help support my content here. So thanks again for watching, folks, and I'll be back tomorrow with another Draft Today.